Good morning, Algebra peeps. It's Tuesday, May 12th. Today's video will be a walkthrough for the Edge-Elastic Assignment 7-3, Systems by Elimination. Today's secret word is the name of a place you would most like to visit. I've always kind of wanted to go to the Mediterranean. Like take a cruise in the Mediterranean. So I think I would put Greece. Yeah, it's right smack in the middle of it, right? Don't quote me on that though. Social studies was never my thing. You know that. All right, so I have a couple of Pinterest posts for you today. When your dog realizes nobody can leave the house for 2 weeks. My dog's really happy. And me, Prince Anything in Color, my dad, I'm never going to financially recover from this. Tiger King. It's good times. All right, I'm going to hop over onto Edge-Elastic, and I will walk you through the problems that have been assigned there. Hang on just a second. So here we are. This is the number 1 on the Edge-Elastic assignment. Solve the system by elimination. Now I set this up so that the first 5 problems are solved by addition and the second 5 are solved by subtraction. I probably won't be that nice on the quiz, but for the practice, the first 5 you would need to add and the second 5 you will need to subtract, or change all the signs in one of the equations and add them. This one was starting off with, we'll have to come over here, and we have negative x. You're going to probably need scratch paper. I know you guys are really big fans of doing stuff in your head. Josh, Logan, I know you guys. Christian. 10x plus 8y equals -2. As I promised, there are 2 terms that are exact opposites. We have -8y and positive 8y. Those will cancel each other out, leaving us with just an x variable. -1x and -10x equals -11x equals -9 plus -2 equals -11. So then to get x by itself, we just divide both sides by -11, and we get x equals +1. From there, we can choose either of the original equations and plug that 1 in for x. So let's use the first one, -x, so it would be -1 minus 8y equals -9. Okay, well, to get 8y by itself, we add 1 to both sides. That gives us -8y equals -8, and so that means that y is also 1. So the correct answer to number 1 is 1, 1. I'm not going to do them all the way through for all the problems, because then why even make you do them, right? Yeah, okay. Let's look at the next example. In our next example, we have 7x minus y equals -23, and then we would have 4x plus y equals -21. All right, so we have a -x and a -y and a positive y. Those cancel each other out, leaving us with 11x equals -44. And we divide both sides by 11, and we get x equals -4. Then we take one of the 2 equations, just take 4x plus y equals -21. We substitute -4 for x, so we're going to have 4 times -4 plus y equals -21, and then you would just solve for y. Multiply these 2 together, and then add both sides, and you can solve for y. It's super easy. Next example. Oh, my dog, I hear her growling down there. She has been so barky today. Solve this system by elimination. Okay, this is another example where we have 2 opposites. 7y equals -16. and negative x minus 9y equals 18. The difference here is that the x's are going to drop out instead of the y's. So positive x and a negative x kind of whammy each other, and that gives us negative 2y equals 2. And then we divide both sides by negative 2, and we get y is negative 1. Then we substitute one of the equations. Let's say we're going to use x plus 7y, so it would be negative 1 for y, equals negative 16. You'd multiply these two together. Well, I guess negative 7 equals negative 16. You want to add 7 to both sides and you'll have x. Next up, now this one is an example of an oddball, okay? This one we've got negative 2x minus 6y equals negative 21. We've got positive 2x plus 6y equals 12. Well, if we add these two together, since we have opposites here, we would get no x's, but then if we add these two together, we also get no y's. So this is a big fat 0 on this left-hand side because all of those are going to drop out. And all we have left on the right-hand side is, what, negative 9? And 0 does not equal negative 9. So that's a false statement. So this is an example of a problem that has no solution. So you would pick C. Okay. The next example. Again, it looks a little weird to me. I'm thinking something strange is going to happen. I have x plus 4y equals negative 21. And I have negative x minus 4y equals 21. If I add those together, I get 0. If I add these together, I get 0. And guess what? If I add these together, I get 0. This is a true statement. So this one has infinite solutions. Oh, look at me writing in cursive on this thing. Infinite solutions, which would be D. True statement is infinite. False statement is no. All right, and this is question number 6. So now we're getting into the ones where you're going to have to subtract to solve. Remember, I told you the first 5 could all be added. The last 5 have to be subtracted. So let's have a look at how this is going to turn out. We have 3x plus 2y equals 15. And then we have x plus 2y equals 5, right? Well, what we need to do here, since we have 2 exactly matching terms, they're not opposites, but we need them to be. So what we do is we multiply this entire equation by negative 1. That will give us negative x minus 2y equals negative 5. Now, this equation and this equation can be added together. Just pretend this middle one's not in here. 3x minus 1x is 2x. Negative or positive 2y and negative 2y cancel out, so they're gone. And 15 plus negative 5 is 10. Then you divide both sides by 2 to solve for x, and we get x is 5. From here, we just plug 5 into one of the equations, like say this one, and solve for y. Okay. Here. This one, you know what? This is so obvious. Look at the first equation and look at the second equation. What do you notice? Aren't they the exact same equation? So if you graph them both, what are you going to get? The exact same line. And when we have 2 lines that are the same line, how many solutions does that have? This is infinite. If we were to go ahead and work these out, negative 10x plus 4y equals 18, and negative 10x plus 4y equals 18 again. Let's say we multiply this bottom one by negative 1. Let's say we're going to multiply it by negative 1. what's going to happen? Well, this is going to become a positive 10x. This is going to become a negative 4y. And this is going to become a negative 18. When we add it all together, negative 10x and positive 10x is 0. Positive 4 and negative 4 is 0. So we have 0 on the left and 0 on the right. Very true statement. So as we suspected, this has infinite solutions. Right. This one, we have negative 2x minus 8y equals negative 20. And the other equation is negative 2x minus 7y equals negative 18. Now these equations are not identical, so chances are this one has a solution. But we can't add two negative 2x's together. That would give us negative 4x. We don't want that. We want those to go away. So we multiply this entire equation by negative 1. And what that does is it changes the sign of every number in the equation. Now, when we add these together, we get 0. Negative 8y and positive 7y gives us a negative 1y. And negative 20 and positive 18 gives us negative 2. Well, if negative y equals negative 2, positive y equals positive 2. Another way you could do this is you could multiply both sides by negative 1, and then that would give you the same result. Okay? Then you take y equals 2, you plug it into either one of the previous equations to solve for x. You guys are doing really great in this unit, so I have high hopes that you're getting this. And when you go to Algebra 2, you're going to know what you're doing. Okay. Solve the system by elimination. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I see these two equations have a lot of similarities, but they also have a difference. So let's see how this is going to pan out for us. 10x minus 2y equals negative 21, and 10x minus 2y equals negative 30. So if I go through and multiply the entire bottom equation by negative 1, that will make this a negative 10x, this a positive 2y, and this a positive 30. Well, this is going to drop out. This is also going to drop out. So we're going to have 0 on the left, and on the right, we're going to have positive 9. 0 does not equal positive 9. That's a false statement. So this is a system that has no solutions. And the grand finale problem, this is number 10. And number 10 does have a solution. I kind of mixed them up a little bit. This is negative 6x plus 5y equals 14. And 2x plus 5y equals 22. Now, clearly I have matching terms here. I have perfect match. So I'm going to need to multiply something by a negative 1. Let's do the top one this time. If I change all the signs in the top one, that gives me a positive 6x, a negative 5y, and a negative 14. Now I can just add them together because I'm so good at that. 6x plus 2x is 8x. The y's are gone. And 22 minus 14 is 8. I think you know where this one's going. Yeah, x is going to be 1. So now you just have to figure out what y is. And if you're really lazy and really savvy, you're looking over here going, there's only one answer where x is 1. So it kind of gives itself away. Anyway, I hope you have a great Tuesday. Hop on over to Edge Elastic and complete this assignment. I will have a quiz become active on Thursday, same type of problems, and I'll also post a walkthrough for that. Right? I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you again on Thursday.